So in the previous video I was just rendering the hello world using this HTML content, and at that time I was not describing any of this code, but in this video I'm just discussing about this code. I will be describing each and every code that is in this my first Servlet.java. So here this package com.test.servlet semicolon. What is that? This package is a keyword. In this netbean, all this blue color word are keyword, and here the package is just is saying that this com.test.servlet is a Java package. If you remember, in the first video I was creating the Java package and I was giving the name com.test.servlet. So this is just saying that this is the package. Don't take it too complicated, it is just simple. That means that there is a folder com, inside that com there is another folder called test, and inside that test there is a Servlet folder, and inside that folder there is my first Servlet.java. That's it. Now jumping to the next line, what is this import java.io exception, java.io.printWriter, java.servlet exception, and all this code. What is this? This is also a package. This io exception is in the package java.io, and in order to import this io exception we have to write this line of code: import java.io.io exception. And similarly we are doing for other. Up to this I think you guys are clear. Now jumping to this next line, this @ symbol and web servlet. What is that? This is the annotation, and this annotation can be available on this package java.servlet.annotation. Inside that package there is a web servlet annotation, and in this parenthesis you can see name is equals to my first servlet. So it is indicating that this class servlet name is my first servlet, and its URL pattern is /my first servlet. Now jumping to this next line, line number 14. What is this public keyword? This is a access modifier. This will tell that is this class accessible to any other class or not. Using the public keyword we are saying that this class is accessible to everyone. That means it is public. And to the next here there is a keyword class. So this is a keyword class, and this is used whenever you want to declare a class. We are declaring here a class my first servlet, and this is the class name. This is a keyword class. Now to the next, there is extends keyword. So this extends keyword is the keyword, okay? It is just a keyword, and it is used whenever we want to inherit all the fields and behavior of the superclass to the child class. Here the HTTP servlet is the superclass, and we are just inheriting all the fields and behavior to this my first servlet. That's it. What is this HTTP servlet? This is a class, and it is available on java.x.servlet.http package, and it should be extended in order to make the my first servlet class as a servlet. So in a simple way we can say that we should extend HTTP servlet to make a class servlet, or to make a servlet class we just extend this HTTP servlet class. So after that, jumping to the next line, here is the protected keyword. So what it does, this is also an access modifier like this public keyword. The public keyword was saying that it is accessible to every classes or everyone. It is public. This protected keyword is saying that it is also accessible to everyone, but it is only accessible to those class which are the child of this my first servlet. only those class, meaning that if my first oblet is the superclass, then all of its child can access this method. After that, here is a void. This is a return type method, and void method will not return anything. Okay, it will not return anything. Just remember that it will not return anything. It is a return type. That's it. So what is this process request? Process request is not a built-in method. It is just the custom method that we are creating. By default, NetBeans IDE has generated this method process request, and it is not a built-in method. Okay, just be aware of that. It is not the built-in method. Now here is a parenthesis. Inside this parenthesis, we pass the parameter. Here HTTP Servlet request and here HTTP Servlet response are being passed. This HTTP Servlet request is an interface. In order to make a web application, we must have a request and response, because whenever client browser requests some data from the server, then obviously the server send some response to the client browser. So in order to handle those request and response, we have the HTTP Servlet request and HTTP Servlet response, and here we are just creating the object of this HTTP Servlet request, and here too we are having the HTTP Servlet response as an interface, and we are just creating an object of HTTP Servlet response. So we are making here a method, and whenever we are creating a Servlet class, the Servlet class might throw an Servlet exception. So in order to handle that exception, we are throwing here Servlet exception, and here is IO exception, and that is going to handle the IO related exception. Now jumping to the next line, your response, the set content type. So what type of response should the server send? It should be of type text, of type HTML, and the charset is equals to UTF-8. That's it. Now here is a try block. This is a try block, and it is going to try, meaning that some abnormal condition is going to be put inside this content. Here is a print writer, here is the object of print writer, here is the response, and we are accessing the getWriter method of HTTP Servlet response using the object response. So what is this getWriter? In order to write some content on the web browser, we need the pane, and that pane is getWriter. It returns the print writer object, so we are here making the object of print writer, which is out. And then here inside that print writer there is a method println that is same as the system.out println. It is just printing on a new line, and this is a type string. Here we should pass string, and we are just passing this string. Basic HTML content we are going to render, or we are going to write this on the web browser. That's it. This is just wrapped in this method called process request. Now here you can see @override. This is another annotation, and this is used whenever you are overriding the method of the superclass. Here the superclass is the HTTP Servlet, and inside that HTTP Servlet there is the method called doGet, and here we are going to override that method. Now this line of code I have already described here. It is same as that of the process request, and here we are just calling the process request method, and we are sending arguments request and response. That's it. This method is being called in this doGet method. Why we are calling this process request on doGet method? Because in the web browser we usually do a request, and those get requests are and those are the get requests. Okay, those are the get requests, and to handle the request, those get request, we use the do method. This line of code is just simply saying that just copy this all the content and just paste down here. That's it. and whenever I do a get request, let me go here, I have done a get request, and this is a get request. So whenever I hit enter, it will call this method do get, and then inside that there is a process request being called, and that is being processed by the server, and therefore we are getting this hello world. That's it. There is another method called do post, and that is just used to handle the post request. Right now there is no any post request, so if I just comment out this, then it work fine. By going here and reload, the same page is reload and same content is shown, so nothing going great here. We do comment by 2/. These comments are totally ignored by the compiler. So now this process request response is totally ignored by the compiler, and therefore it is just same as removing this content from here and just saving, and if I go here and if I reload, same content will be displayed. So yeah, that's it. Why should I use this annotation add override? I think I have not tailed this. This is used to ensure that this getServlet info is the method of this HTTP servlet of the superclass, or you can simply say this is the method we are going to override. Okay, then we are, if I put here s, then it will generate error here, because this is not the method that we are going to override. There is no any method in the superclass like getServlet's info. But if I remove this line of code, then the file is error free. We were going to override that getServlet info, but by mistakenly we type s in the middle, which is not the part of that HTTP servlet. So to ensure that what I'm going to override is on that superclass, we use the override annotation. So if I just remove this extra s from here and just save that, then yeah, it's done. We are overriding the getServlet info. So this is also another built-in method of that HTTP servlet, and it is usually used to give the about that servlet, like the author of the servlet or anything else you want to give. Just write down here and just call that method, or you can do that.